everyone, welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open. We're here with our first recap for ladder number 2 of the fall season. I'm your host, Paul Inverum Toddkill, joined by the one and only Glitter Explosion, as we're back for another fantastic ladder of mobile esports. And I have to say, Glitter, I'm pumped to be back because the play-ins, the ladder finals, they've been stellar.
They were fantastic. Okay, the entire time we had so many matchups, regardless of the game, that had us on the edge of our seats from start to finish, and that's why I'm that much more excited to get into our second ladder.
Oh, 100%. The teams who didn't quite qualify into the challenge are back and rip-raring to go. But before we get too deep into the trenches here, I need to remind you all what is going on here. Of course, this is the ESL Mobile Open, a competition for you to get involved in mobile esports, open to competition all around the globe across a ton of different game titles. It is a fantastic place to get started on your journey if you want to take a stab at competitive gaming. And of course, there's a lot happening this year, so let's take a look at exactly how it all works. Welcome to ESL Mobile, the home of mobile esports. ESL Mobile is a global program designed to give you an opportunity to compete in your favorite mobile games, featuring multiple game titles taking place in 3 regions and offering 2 levels of competition. There's something here for everyone. ESL Mobile Open is the gateway to competitive play, free to join and open to any resident of our supported regions. This is the best way for you to enjoy the thrill of victory and take your shot at winning cash prizes. Each season of Mobile Open will consist of 2 ladders, and the top competitors from each will qualify for the Mobile Open play-ins. ESL Mobile Challenge is your path to glory. If you are a top competitor in the Mobile Open play-ins, you will earn a spot in the Mobile Challenge season. The top team from each ladder will skip the play-ins and qualify directly for the Mobile Challenge season. This is where you'll have the chance to compete against the best players in your region. At the end of each season, top Mobile Challenge players will compete in the Mobile Challenge Finals to determine a winner and be crowned their region's champion. ESL Mobile is for everyone. This is your opportunity to join a diverse and growing community of players across the world and see just how far you can go.
All right, now that you guys know how the program works, I'm going to break down the show a little bit. And in case you've never been here with us before, every week in Vera we're going to recap all of the action that went down from the week prior across all of our game titles. And this past week, it's kind of like a 2-for-1, okay? Because we're going to be recapping all of the play-in action plus the beginning of the ladder, and we're going to kick everything off with Brawl Stars like we usually do. And there was a lot that went in those play-ins.
Oh, absolutely. This was the leaderboard at the end of the last ladder. O.O, with that first place spot, was able to bypass the play-ins entirely and secure themselves a spot in the next season of the ESL Mobile Challenge. But there's a lot of other huge names on this list, like Tribe, Stamina, Aqua, but also some newer faces like Tequila and Watermelon, who put on an incredible showing all last ladder. But in the end, it was those established favorites, Tribe, Stamina, joined by Revenge Tour, that were able to join O.O in the next season of the ESL Mobile Challenge.
Yeah, so we're going to end up taking a look at some of the highlights in case you guys missed it from those play-in moments. This is obviously one of our first semifinal matches with Stamina Esports versus Cult2 BGBG. And Stamina Esports in Virum, they were on an absolute tear. This entire first round of semis, they didn't drop a single round. They weren't going to let anybody get through. They wanted to make sure they were solidifying their spot in challenge.
Yeah, and I mean, this was really the team that we were looking forward to in the last season of the ESL Mobile Challenge, but this is their full final roster. This is, at least for now, their final form, and they showed up in fantastic form. They looked nigh unstoppable. Well, actually just regular unstoppable, because like you said, they didn't drop a single round. They came in, they wiped the floor in the upper bracket, and with 3 short rounds, advanced on to the ESL Mobile Challenge. But not to be outdone, of course, Tribe Gaming wanted to put up a pretty impressive showing of their own. As you can see, Tyrant doing right here. Ooh, that double pull feels real good. Revenge Tour was on the receiving end of their ire, but Glitter, at least for them, they were able to get a little bit of redemption later on.
Yeah, you know, their journey doesn't end here. While Tribe Gaming did put on an insanely strong showing, Revenge Tour tried to fight back a little bit at the end, but it just wasn't enough to defeat Tribe Gaming. Obviously, Tribe Gaming deserves their spot right now in our first of those 4 qualified teams to challenge, but Revenge Tour did end up dropping down to our lower bracket after this, and they had to battle their way through all of the other teams that had also ended up in the lower bracket. And what happened was this epic culmination back and forth battle between Watermelon and Revenge Tour.
I mean, we talked about how it was pretty one-sided in the upper bracket. The lower bracket was the complete opposite. We saw banger match after banger match all the way to game 5s consistently. And this one was no exception. Revenge Tour goes on to pull off the epic comeback up against Watermelon, who were up 2-0. This was the point. They had to win this round or they were going home. Revenge Tour were able to get the victory here and carry that momentum all the way through to the ESL Mobile Challenge. I mean, I'm so stoked to continue to see what this team can do. They actually showed, a pretty good performance against Tribe as well, and now they've got the next 4 weeks to continue to practice, continue to play in competition, just to see, okay, can we take it to that next level?
100%. And I mean, I feel like this is now an unintentional rivalry between Watermelon and Revenge Tour because we saw them battle it out to get into play-ins. They had to battle it out for that qualifying spot. Now Watermelon needs to they got to bring themselves back from that. We've got a whole other ladder now for them to battle it out.
Exactly. Now they've got 4 more weeks to make it back to the next play-ins to do what they couldn't do the first time around. Definitely one of these teams we're going to be keeping an eye on. But somebody who was there with us at the time for this last play, and keeping an eye on all the action, of course, was Ash, who has some even better plays, some more plays. We'll go with that. So let's take a look back at what he has.
What's up, guys? I'm Ash and welcome back to another week of the ESL Mobile Open. We just had a major tournament, guys. The fall season play-ins. Basically, the top 4 teams in North America will make it into the grand stage, the finals. So, what I'm going to do today is we're going to recap what happened and also go over my favorite games. Let's begin. Now here are the 8 teams in North America competing in this play-ins. Odado's in first place, so they have already qualified into the grand stage for being number 1. Meaning there's only 3 other spots left. And the major story looking at this bracket, Aqua getting eliminated in first round. They were our champions of the prior season. So this is insane. Stamina versus Cool to BGG as our first matchup. Let's look at that. The main story here, guys, is Bobby and his Brock. It just felt like he couldn't miss any shots. Now, Brock got some massive buffs in the recent balance changes. He's one of the strongest brawlers in the game, and Bobby showcasing his skills here. Him and his team able to score just within about 15 seconds of this game. Just look at Bobby here with the rocket fuel gadget, already eliminating Angel Yu. Angel Yu is a fantastic player, by the way, guys. Just goes to show the level of difference between Bobby's skill with Brock versus other pro players. It's just insane to see, especially him showcasing that ability with Brock being one of the strongest brawlers in the game. Look at that, Bobby already eliminating Angel Yu in quick score. It just took about 30 seconds this game. Stamina Esports with a pretty dominating performance overall against Cool2BGG, being able to sweep them in all 3 sets and move on to the finals, guys, clinching their spot in the top 4. Tribe also looks so perfect, guys. Revenge Tour is a team full of super pro players like Raz, Alec26, and Jigsaw. But crazy thing is, guys, Tribe was just on another level. Check out this game in Snake Prairie. Zulang trying to grab that star. He's gonna escape. Jigsaw getting a double pull. But look at the counter pull by Tyrant to take them out and take a 4-star lead with the blue star. I'm telling you, Tribe just 1 step ahead every time against Revenge Tour. Second's gonna drop his mines on the right side, and then Zulan gonna open up the left. So essentially, they've opened up both sides, because now, Revenge Tour, they can't sneak up on the right. Jigsaw got his vision and his super, got quickly sniped by Zulan, one of the best Piper players in the world, and of course one of the best players in the world as well. Zulan starting with the spin, giving them some BM there. Oh man, Tribe just celebrating because they've already won 2 matchups earlier, and in this matchup they can just sweep Tribe. Look at Tyrant on the left side against Raz, who's going to back up with his super. Jigsaw sneaking in from behind, being able to take out Tyrant, but is he going to be able to escape? That's the problem here, as he fails to do so, and Tribe with a massive lead right now. 9-star lead, Blue Stars, and Tribe just celebrating because they know it, that you know, within just about 20 seconds here, they're moving on and they're going to clinch it, guys. They're going to eliminate Revenge Tour and they're going to clinch their victory to the top 4 for the final stage. Just a dominating performance by Tribe, considering, you know, how powerful Revenge Tour is. Now, fortunately for Revenge Tour, they managed to crawl their way back to the finals in the lower bracket, but up against a very fearsome team in Watermelon, having powerful players such as CR7, Charles, and Chepo. So Revenge Tour, not only that, they're behind here. Watermelon got a 2-1 lead in terms of sets, and if Revenge Tour loses in this set, they're going to be eliminated, meaning Watermelon can move on and clinch their spot in the finals. Chepo losing on the right side against Jigsaw 1v1. Jigsaw using his Terra gadget to push back CR7. So Revenge Tour looking good here so far, having mid control. Raz having the gems. Not only that, I love that Raz, you know, is running Jesse. Jesse was a great pick, a very smart pick, being able to, you know, counter Jean and Terra once she has that turret. That Sandstorm from Alec, by the way, giving them such great control, that invisibility. Jigsaw's got to be careful. He does have his pull, and he's going to take out CR7. Not only that, on the right side, they managed to take out Chepo again. So this is a big lead by Revenge Tour here. Looking very good. CR7 does have his super, but there you go. See that Jesse turret behind that wall? It's going to block the Jean. It's a great play by Raz. And now Jigsaw again having that pull and eliminating Chepo immediately. Just so good with his Terra. Right there, CR7 almost got Raz, unable to do so. And Revenge Tour with 10 gems. Raz is going to get pulled by Chepo, though. He's got to be careful. Alex going to be able to grab the gems, use his Sandstorm, and just manage to escape. But then Chepo comes in and gets another kill. This is grueling, guys. Very hectic. Raz with the slowdown gadget to stop CR from escaping with all the gems. But then Chepo again having, you know, just enough help to grab the gems safely. Pulls Alec. Almost takes out Alec, by the way. And then Alec manages to escape barely with the gems. 10 seconds left here, guys. Revenge Tour does have a big lead in terms of gems, and they're gonna win it with just about 3 seconds left, having the gems with a back and forth insane game, meaning Revenge Tour tying this up 2-2 now, moving on to the final set. In the final set, Revenge Tour had an excellent start with their triple aggro comp, dealing 22% right off the bat. On the opposing end, though, Watermelon does have a very strong counter comp, triple range with Colt, Griff, and Spike. But Revenge Tour is going to play it very smart. Look at the Bull on the left and Edgar on the right, sneaking in, rushing in together. So we have a base race between the two teams. Alex got Berserker with his Bull, and that's going to be a major difference, having that double reload, being able to deal more damage, higher DPS. Watermelon coming back could not stop Revenge Tour, as Revenge Tour takes it and clinches their spot in the finals, guys, along with O.O, Tribe Gaming, and Stamina Esports. This is going to be super exciting, seeing these guys compete in the final stage of this competition. I just can't wait. Man, this was such a fun tournament. I had so much fun casting, especially with my fellow casters, Echo, Inverum, and Glitter Explosion. And of course, kudos to the 4 teams who've managed to get into the grand stage, where we're going to have the top 8 teams in North America later on compete in this epic tournament. I just can't wait. Thank you guys so much for watching. Now let's head back to the desk.
Okay, I always love listening to Ash because I feel like he brings the hype every single video. You guys get to see even more of those plays from that insane matchup between Revenge Tour and Watermelon. And That's what we're saying. Like the level of competition that we saw for this first ladder of Brawl Stars. I mean, I hope the teams are ready to bring it for this second one because they've got a lot to live up to.
I think you absolutely nailed it. I'm gonna need Watermelon to qualify in this next play-in because I
Right.
want to continue to see this back and forth grudge match develop between these two teams. I'm excited to see what they can do. And I'm excited to see what you can do at home if you sign up and participate, not only just for this game, of course, but for other titles as well. And of course, follow us over on social media, !social. And of course, if you're a fan of any of our amazing Supercell titles, things like, I don't know, Clash of Clans or Clash Royale, definitely recommend you go. We, of course, have bigger prize pools for a game like Clash Royale, $1,000 first place prize, $3,500 prize pool. You definitely want to be checking that out. ! Sign up in the chat is how you can get all the information for all those fantastic titles. But speaking of Clash of Clans, Glitter, that's what's coming up next, which means we need to head to a short break.
Go.
When we come back, more games. Let's go.
I go ready for it. 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 I go ready for it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open. I'm Glitter Explosion.
And I'm Invero.
And it is time to continue on with this recap, okay? Because we have even more play-ins action to get into. And this time, I am talking about Clash of Clans. Another very, very close, lots of back and forth in these
Yeah.
play-ins.
Yeah, I mean, this was the leaderboard going into it, Volume 0. Real mad that didn't qualify for the finals. The last mobile challenge said we're just going to get right in there. We're going to skip the play-ins entirely. But a lot of other big names up here on this list that didn't necessarily make it in this time around. No Golden X, no Space Station, no Train Station. Instead, we got Happy Endings 4.0, Coastal Clash, an old school ESL Mobile veteran, and the A-Team, who were able to join Volume 0, meaning that the pool of top competitors, Glitter, it's just getting bigger.
Yeah, which is honestly crazy to me because we've talked throughout the entirety of the first ladder about those established teams and how we were just kind of almost giving it to them. You know, we were expecting them to make it through our first play-ins, but a lot of these newly formed teams kind of were like, no, we're gonna have to just put a stop to that because we want to make sure that we are the first four or in the first four that qualify through to challenge. And they did just that. I mean, we can see here, this is one of our first attacks right now. We've got Coastal Clash versus Golden XXL. Golden XXL being one of those teams that did not make it through here. This was during a war where I felt like both of these teams actually started off very, very strong in the beginning, and then it fell off for both teams' second attack, and then Coastal Clash was able to bring it back, whereas Golden XXL didn't do the same.
And I definitely feel like Jaguar, you know, competing all the way back since season 1 of the Mobile Open with Coastal Clash, has been to multiple LAN final finishes. Definitely a factor here. But that being said, wasn't enough of a factor for Space Station Gaming, as they were unable to qualify. Nick as well having that competitive LAN environment, but instead it was happy endings with a 14-star war who were able to overcome them. Nick had to triple with this final attack and just couldn't quite make it happen. Ugh.
So close. And you know, you put this out into the universe because you had said during the play-ins you wanted to see if we were going to get a perfect war, okay? And Happy Endings was one attack away from that. This was such a close battle.
It was, but even still, you know, Space Station Gaming able to put up 98%, 99 for the A team though. Despite the fact that they're not necessarily pulling in a triple every single time, they're still putting up crushingly high percentages, as you can see here from Lord Kirk, continuing that trend. And, you know, just crazy overall levels of gameplay. The A team came in this lower bracket and said, look, we are not going down yet. This was a scrappy back and forth war. I think both teams maybe a little bit fatigued by the end of the night, but able just by the skin of their teeth to clutch it out was the A team. That little Canada-USA hybrid having a good time here. And I think we actually did see some hybrid in this war, so that was fun.
This was honestly an incredibly fun one to close everything out for our plans. And I think what is potentially one of the most important things to take away from this, like you had said at the very beginning, is the fact that Golden XXL didn't make it. SSG didn't make it. Train Station Gaming didn't make it. So those are the names we're now going to be looking at here for the second ladder.
Yeah, I mean, also, well, we can just take a look at, speaking of the second ladder, maybe we'll just take a look at that right now, because there's another name we definitely did out of that. Lost Meta, another squad who was actually looking incredibly solid in our first Mobile Challenge season. They're up there too. They did not skip a beat. Golden X, SSG, TSG, right up there near the top. Because you know what they're all fighting for? With that 2 points up there at the top leader, they are fighting for that #1 spot. They do not want to risk another play-in.
Yeah, because we saw how close those play-ins are, so they are vying for that #1 auto qualification spot. Second page here, though, for our Week 5 leaderboard. There are so many creative names in Clash of Clans. It's probably one of my favorite titles, okay? Like, Pet My Yak, come on.
Adorable. We love the pets in Clash of Clans. We're all about it. And we're all about these teams stepping up to join these top competitors here, because those points pretty darn close, all things considered. But this is one of the teams that you're chasing right here. Of course, it is Space Station Gaming. Agent 33 up there looking to put on a heck of a show. And they were able to pull off the win in that war up against 5v5 speed dating, which is, again, another hilarious team name.
It really is. It's another fantastic name. But I mean, SSG, they are not going to risk any sort of bad play here in this second ladder. Okay, they just barely missed out on the top 4 in our first play-ins. Like we saw already on the leaderboard, they're in a very solid position here just after the first week of the second ladder. So these types of 3-star attacks are going to be what they are trying to guarantee themselves moving forward for the rest of the season, because they don't want any doubt in their mind that they're 100% in play-ins.
100%. And I mean, another team that's up there too, of course, Lost Meta Gaming. I mean, this is, again, another squad that we had super high expectations for. They looked incredibly dominant. I think they went 7-0 in our first season of the ESL Mobile Challenge, and yet could not make it into that first ladder. So going to be keeping an eye on this squad for sure. I think currently sitting in, I think, 6th place. So either way, super, super excited to see what this team can do.
Yeah, and then they're going up against Cosmic Radiance in this particular attack, who's another team that we saw up there on our leaderboards. But also got to give a little bit of a shout out. Yeah, I mean, we can't forget, congratulations, Fence Post, on becoming a dad.
I think soon to be becoming a dad, announced over on Twitter. So congrats to Fence Post as well. Got to give some shout outs here in the Clash of Clans community. As we check out Golden X as well, another one of these squads we're continually going to have to keep our eyes on. I feel like at this point, Glitter, it's sort of like this Clash of the Titans up there at the top, like all these big names that if you followed competitive Clash for any amount of time, these massive sprawling clan families. Like to get onto one of these 5 squads, you are competing against dozens of other potential players for these spots. They are highly contested. And a Black Power Rage showing why they deserve that spot here, pulling out another incredible attack, putting those Inferno Dragons to work. Really, overall, I think the second ladder, normally, the best teams have qualified. Like, it's going to be a little bit more... in this game, maybe? I think not so much.
See, I think, not the problem. I was going to say it's the problem, but it's definitely not. What happens is that there's just so many options to pick from at this point in Clash of Clans. Okay, you've got those OGs and these players, the teams that have been around for a really long time, but then you see all of these newly formed groups like the A team that come in and they solidify their spot after the first ladder, 1 season in, first ladder, they're already on their way to challenge, right? So it's about the established team's ability to adapt to some of these, new strategies, because the entire first half of the season, we saw new strategies the entire time. People were just coming up with new ideas left, right, and center. So I'm interested to see how it goes.
I mean, what better way? Speaking of new strategies, we've already got more debuting here in Ladder 2. Look, what a coincidence. Eric's got the breakdown. All right, 2 new strats you need to check out. Let's take a look.
Hey, thanks guys. We've got some new strategies and I can't wait to get into this. So let's not waste any time. Let's dive right in. So check it out, guys. 20 Sneaky Goblins, 7 Bat Spells. We got a Kill Squad and 5 Dragon Riders here. This is quickly becoming one of my favorite new attacks here in Clash of Clans. And we saw it break out right here in the ESL Mobile Open. And now it's spreading like wildfire. Everybody wants a piece of this attack here. And a lot of people are getting really good at it. This attack from Puma of Train Station was particularly impressive, and you'll see exactly why in just a little bit here. But he starts to trim out the collectors and then the storages around the bottom of the base here, using all of those sneaky goblins, test for traps all the way to the town hall, makes a wave of sneaky goblins invisible so they can go in there and snipe the town hall off. By taking the town hall early like that with the sneaky goblins, it frees up the warden so we can send in the warden with the kill squad. So we'll start to funnel out on the top side, use the baby dragon. Earlier had a couple of balloons and minion go after that storage over on the left side, and we'll need to see that storage finishing going down there. Drops in a minion just to get the last shots on it, and that drives the heroes into the base. Even had to toss in a couple extra balloons there because of the Tesla farm to make sure that he had the funnel to push the king and the queen into the base there with the ice golems. And also, since the warden is on ground there, protecting the log launcher, protecting the king and the queen, also protecting these headhunters that are going in to go after the enemy queen to dive a little bit deeper into the base. He gets huge value out of the heroes. Then, before he takes too many rounds of eagle strikes here, he starts in the dragon riders over from the left side, going after the wizard towers in that area and get that eagle artillery down. His queen reaching through and grabbing out that multi-inferno, grabbing the scatter shot. His RC swinging to the right side to go after the scatter shot there, and you can slowly see all of the splash damage on the base here get picked off. Once he has an opportunity, he can start the bats, but he's waiting for all the splash damage to go on the base, or at least the majority of it. He makes the road champion invisible, making sure that she can survive through the Grand Warden statue and that expo that are standing there. And now there's nothing left on the base here other than a couple of point defenses, but look how many troops he still has left, guys. He's still got the Dragon Riders moving, who are actually not protected by the Warden. They were traveling all on their own. The Queen ended up surviving with the Warden all the way through the base here, and then he sends in the bats, and they're basically cleanup bats here, guys. He had 7 bat spells and 3 freezes, and he literally could have swagged every single one of them. He could have swagged 10 spells on this attack here. but he just throws him in for cleanup at the end. That is absolutely wild. I don't know that we're going to make it through a week of the ladder here without finding a brand new attack that is just defining a new meta, and this attack from Lexnose definitely did the trick here. It is a Queen Charge mass rocket balloon attack here, and this is such a simple attack, but also incredibly strong here. But you do have to do a pretty monster Queen Charge here, and Lexnose can definitely deliver on that. So he delays his healers as he comes in from the top corner until after he gets a better angle of approach here. He wall breaks into the scatter shot after a couple of rocket balloons go in there, snipe off the multi-inferno so he can safely go around it, and uses it as a funnel to push his way in to the Eagle Artillery, the scatter shot, and the King. He puts his King on the outside of the base here, and the King gets a wall break so we can travel along the edge with the Wizard working on the far outside edge to try to keep that King a little bit central on the base here and keep this Queen moving directly forward into the Town Hall. The King is going to work on one side of the Queen, and we'll see what he does with the Royal Champion on the other side. Now, you would expect during this attack here that we have the Warden on air to work with the rocket balloons, but just like the last attack we saw, we're seeing more and more ground Grand Wardens here to work and get extra value out of the heroes, and we're going to see that in just a moment here after this log launcher mows down this CC and gives the Queen access all the way through to the Town Hall. The King ended up breaking a wall there after going after the Royal Champion, just funneling out his Queen just a little bit tighter and keeping her pushing directly towards the Town Hall. Before that multi-inferno up on the top flank there becomes a problem, he sends in his Warden with a couple of headhunters and the Royal Champion to go dive bomb with the Warden ability, protecting the Royal Champion through the Queen, and they work together to clear out that entire top compartment. And he has the rocket balloons coming in on the Royal Champion's flank to support her and keep her moving in a straight line. I feel like we see something very similar to this during a Golem Avalanche rocket balloon attack that we've seen a little bit recently, but this one is a nice new twist on it, and he just completely collapses the backside of the base here with rocket balloons all around on every defense that can really threaten this Royal Champion, and there's not much that can stop this. Guys, he's got 2 extra invisibilities that he could have used to protect his Queen or his Royal Champion as they move through if they ran into any major threats there, and he still has more balloons and more rocket balloons that he never even deployed. It was absolutely crushed here, and just another new strategy breaking onto the meta, and I absolutely love it. So much new stuff popping up all the time here, and for these players to be breaking out these brand new strategies in tournament wars like this, absolutely phenomenal, absolutely amazing, and I love it. So what do you guys think? Brand new strategies breaking all the time right here on the ESL Mobile Open stage, and I love to see it. But Environment Glitter, I'm going to send it back to you.
I can't even keep track of how many new strategies Eric has taught us about at this point, because this one season alone, every single week, Eric has not like one, but multiple new strategies to break down.
I mean, great time to be a content creator. It's like, oh, check out all of our new strats this week that these top pros are debuting, constantly trying to... We were talking about it during the video too. It's like trying to keep track of the meta in Clash of Clans. Certainly not easy, but definitely keeps it spicy every single week, which is why you got to keep tuning in every single week to check out what new strats are debuting. And of course, if you want to use them yourself, you want to test them out on some unwary opponents. Or maybe wary, depending on what level of competition you play. Oh, this competition right here! ! Sign up. Get your team involved here in North America, over in EU as well. Be sure to go check it out! ! Sign up in the chat. And of course, Glitter, we're getting near the end. It's almost that time, but PUBG Mobile still in store for us, and a new special guest tonight. So you definitely don't want to go anywhere. We'll be right back.
the ESL Mobile Open. I'm Glitter Explosion.
And I'm Inverum.
And we are about to deep dive a lot of PUBG Mobile action, okay? And I'm very excited to get into it. But before we do, we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about AnyKey. All right? We do this all the time. You can check out them, AnyKey.org for more information. But of course, we're trying to get you guys to sign the Good Luck, Have Fun pledge. It's an amazing cause promoting diversity and inclusion in gaming and esports. And we love working with them so much. But we even have, you know, a nice little video of people telling you a little bit more about their experience with it and why it's awesome to join. So let's check it out.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
GLHF. Good luck, have fun. Go sign the pledge. Over 1 million people have. You get an exclusive badge over on Twitch that you can use anywhere across the entire platform. I highly recommend you go check it out. Just like I highly recommend you check out these plays. Whoa, because PUBG Mobile
So good.
went off to say the least. We had our play-in finals for that yesterday, and oh my goodness, Nova Esports showed up. But Glitter, as much as some folks may have thought it was a little cut and dry, that was not the case. This was close. Ventru, All-Stars? I think we have some future stars on our hands here with these teams.
Absolute insanity. You guys can see on the leaderboard that Nova actually had one less kill point than All-Stars Star X, but they managed to squeak out some extra points in those placement points. I mean, they were very consistent across the board there, but these games were so close. We were watching the top 3 with bated breath, having no idea who was going to finish in that first place position. Then you can see how the rest of the lobby finished out from there. And honestly, we saw some really good one-off performances from a lot of the teams on this list here and there, but that top 3, they were too consistent to be stopped.
Yes, but also, where Ventru didn't really exist the first 2 games. They basically did all those points in the last 3, which is just wild to think about. But Nova did what Nova does. Their international competitive experience really showed, I think, in this competition. You know, they only have 5 games. Like, a lot can happen in 5 games. There's a reason, you know, there's more of these extended competitions do like 40 or 60 plus games. But here you only get 5. You only get 1 shot. And Rin, oh, big sad. That Molly, I think kind of, you know, pissed them off in that early game there. And they went on to do incredible work over the course of the next 5 games. But they were certainly not alone. All 16 squads who made it here, Glitter, I would say almost every single one had a pop-off moment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was almost hard for us to really know how it was going to turn out, because on the games where maybe Nova struggled, we saw so many other teams stepping up to the plate and getting a lot of points on the board in the process. You can see, I mean, these highlights alone are going to illustrate just how many plays we saw coming out of these players. Oh, here, Stealth. Okay, that's his demise. But what you don't see in that highlight is that he team wiped before he had to try to push out of the blue. So, I mean, we saw some crazy clutches.
M2491V4. That's a lot of letters, but they spelled disaster for the squad. They ended up wiping, as we can see, Noob getting picked up there. Ventru, this is when they started to put pedal to the metal. It came in that 3rd game. They put up a 30-point game. 15 kill chicken dinner. It was incredible. Unfortunately, not quite able to replicate it because Nova, that experience, the positioning. You can see it here, G-Fan Glitter. He would not be denied.
No, this split that Nova was running here at the end was indicative of you know, that's just experience. Like, there was no chance, like you said, that Nova was losing that. They were too perfectly positioned. They had cover, they had the numbers, and that's what we were expecting out of them. But God, these plays, there are so many moments where we were yelling because of how intense. Like, Ralphinho,
that was a 1v3.
Yes, this was another moment where we saw a lot of those.
Individual players just would not say die. But this game is not about individual players. It's about the teamwork. And Nova as you can see here, coming in with all 4 left alive, showing that they're making it work in these final moments, pulling off back-to-back chicken dinners. Ganyu steps up, and the team just steps out. 10 points was the final separation between 81 points over 5 games. That's pretty impressive.
If you guys did not get a chance to check out those ladder finals, you got to do it after this, okay? Because what we showed you was a fraction of how good the games were yesterday.
100%. Go back, watch the VODs. D-Gon, Cammy D, they were there. They broke it all down. It was absolutely sick. And what's even better about it is that the action literally didn't stop because we're still into the next ladder. So let's keep things going. Nova took ladder number 1, but who's going to do it here in ladder number 2? We talked about some of these teams. All Stars, Ventru, they're up there. One shot the team that came in and took down Nova, that crazy finish. They're up there too, Glitter.
Yeah, with a huge point margin right now. One Shot Mexico is putting themselves in a fabulous position starting off this second ladder here. Some other names that we did watch that we kept our eyes on either last season or in the finals. We see 4-Piece up here. We see Sailing Pro up here. So there's already teams trying to make sure that they're going to be making it into the next ladder finals, okay? And then on the second page, one of the names that actually jumps out to me here in Virum is B-Town Esports. They are the most recent PMCO NA champs. So this is just another illustration of how our teams are going up some of the best of the best.
Yeah, and they were a team that competed last season as well and had a really impressive showing. So, going from the PMCO here into our competition for the Mobile Open, gotta love it. Every opportunity to continue to get better at the game, they're gonna take it. As we jump on board with our highlights from this last week. And it's still, these players, Glitter, they are not slowing down at all. The action just kept on going. As we can see here, just really solid shots. I mean, you only have a tree to work with and are still able to put this much pressure on that squads. I mean, ends up going down, but still really, really solid play.
I feel like they saw the caliber of play that came out of our first ladder finals, and they knew moving forward that was only going to get more difficult for this second ladder. So like you're saying, that level of competition has not lessened at all, and that's what we love to see here in the ESL Mobile Open. We're seeing some insanely good level of mechanics, the gunplay, team cohesion. We talked about it so much. These squads are just kind of another level. Vitality is another name that we did talk about a lot yesterday as well.
And I think the thing that's jumped out to me the most here is how much the individual gun skill has jumped up over even, I would say, the last year. It is incredible to watch. Really, every single one of these teams has players who can do things like this and pull off absolutely huge plays. But fun fact in all of this, Crucify was looking pretty good in that spot. He was actually the one that ended up going down, and the squad that he was looking to rain the pain onto survived. Admiral was able to make it out alive and actually ends up pulling off the chicken dinner.
Like the nades, I think that's another thing. The throwables, whether it's in these week 1 ladder 2 highlights or the plays that we saw coming out of play-ins, the throwables, the utility use that we saw out of our players was also huge.
And XPL, I mean, now we talk about the throwables, they're going to come into play right here, and alley-oop and kaboom. Gonna do some, I was so close. But using the terrain, Glitter, again, this is what I'm talking about, the individual skills, being aware of what's going on around you, being able to leverage the terrain to your advantage, and being able to pull off plays like this. No fear. You use the smoke from the grenade as cover, and the rest of the team is gonna go in and send it. Let's do it.
I mean, at this point, right, it's easy cleanup. You had the information from your first player who went down. You're waiting for the corner peek, and you've got a 2v1 situation. That is the clean and definitive way to make sure you nail down that chicken dinner.
Ladies and gents, that's how you double peek. That's how you take it together. That's how you get the positive trade. And that's how you get the chicken dinner. Look, it's those kind of mechanics, that kind of game sense that really takes these teams to the next level. And if you want to take your gameplay to the next level, you should watch this next video, because we have a player who's seen it all. Going to be breaking it down. Zute, who has been a competitor here, a land finalist here in our ESL Mobile competition, and of course casted with us in the highest level of world competition, is here to break down some of these plays from the last week and help you get better at the game. So let's take a look.
Hey, Paul and Glitter, so glad to be on the broadcast. Thank you guys for having me. And man, I've been watching these competitors play in the ESL Mobile Open, and it is giving me flashbacks to back when I was a competitor myself. And let me tell you, as a 7 times global championship competitor and a 2 times ESL Mobile Open LAN finalist, I've definitely learned a thing or two about playing PUBG Mobile. And so, without further ado, let's get into this week's Focus Breakdown. For this week's Focus Breakdown, we are going to go over the key elements needed to successfully win close-range compound fights. This skill is especially useful when your drop spot is being contested or you need to breach a certain compound in zone. We will be using this hot drop fight from the ESL Mobile Open and Novo for today's Focus Breakdown. Pause. So here we have a 4v4 fight between 2 teams both contesting the Novo area. We will be analyzing this fight from Team 8's POV. Here's an overview of the fight. Team 8 will be referred to as Team A, and the opposing team will be referred to as Team B. The very first step is to gather information safely and be aware of not just the enemy's positions, but your teammates' positions as well. For Team A, all of the enemies on Team B are within footstep distance, so they should have a very good idea of the enemy's positioning. Take special note of this player from Team A due to his positioning. This will definitely come into play later. The opposing team, Team 16, ends up getting the opening knock, but you'll soon see TLU here get an amazing counter knock. Right here at the very last second, he manages to land an amazing headshot with the AK onto the opposing player. Now the fight is reset to a 3v3, but TLU is about to make a crucial decision. And just like that, within seconds of this team fight breaking out, the team fight was lost for Team A. This player had an amazing trade knock in the engagement, but one small lapse in judgment costed the entire team the fight. Here you guys can see how Team B will easily be able to get the revive on their knock player and reset the fight to a 4v2 situation. As for Team A, the situation is looking very dire, and their best option is to disengage, and that is what they end up doing. Now, let's reset this fight back to the 3v3 situation when both teams had just only one player down. Pop quiz! If you guys are Team A, what would you do in this situation? I'm looking at you too, Paul and Glitter. You have 10 seconds. Go. Remember, in an actual engagement, you will have even less time to think, and it will be under even more pressure. Time's up. Let's see how you guys did. If you were unsure on how to approach this team fight, the best way to go about it is to focus on the positioning. The positioning of the enemy players and the positioning of one's teammates dictate the role and opportunities that one will be responsible for in any situation on the battlefield. First, let's take a look at this player. His position is crucial, and he must hold this spot to cover the cross to prevent the enemy team from getting the revive. If you guys thought he should use smokes to cross over, that would be incorrect. Using smokes to cross is still a risk, but even if he were able to cross safely for the revive, that is a fundamental mistake. He would give up the control he had of the cross, which would allow the enemy team to take more ground control, get the revive, and potentially punish the player in a 2v1 situation. This player's role is to control the position he is in and pass information to his teammates as he is the closest to the majority of the enemy team. This player is the furthest from the fight and is under the least amount of pressure. Due to his positioning, his role is to direct his teammates and to call the next play. Lastly, this player is in a pretty isolated 1v1 with his closest enemy counterpart right across from him. He does, however, have some slight supporting sightlines from his teammate. His role would be to apply pressure safely and to disrupt enemy communication or to force the enemy to adjust to what he is doing. Many times in 1v1 situations, players just remain idle and quiet, which do not add much benefit to the team. In an ideal situation, Team B is slow to make any moves, and the furthest player from Team A has time to run back for a car and drive in for a safe revive. But this may take too long, and the enemy team might take advantage of this and press a 2v1 since this player lost the support line from his back. Assuming both teams are equally skilled and neither team makes a mistake giving the other team an easy opening, this player should move in to pressure the 1v1, allowing his teammate to cross down safely to add more value to the fight. Now that we are in an even 3v3 situation, there are numerous different ways to continue the fight. Now, there are no clear-cut answers on what to do next because PUBG Mobile is a game of ever-changing factors and no two fights are the same. In order to succeed in this game, teams must be able to assess situations quickly and be able to adapt to it. Of course, player skill also has a huge impact to a team's success. Well, that does it for this week's Focus Breakdown. I know it was a lot to take in, guys. I hope you guys learned a thing or two that will help you guys out in your future competitive games. And hey, maybe Paul and Glitter, you guys learned something too.
Okay, I did learn something,
Yes.
but I need to know if we learned the same thing, Paul. Okay, because what would you have done?
So I don't think he had a smoke grenade, but my gut definitely would have been to smoke the cross, like go revive my teammate. But the fact that you give up all that control is 100% right, because then they can reposition too. And yeah, audio cues are important, but you're still giving up that info and potentially even blocking the teammate who's playing anchor to like support you and give intel. So I probably would have goofed. I probably would have goofed. What
See,
about you?
I don't think I would have smoked to try and go help my teammate because at that point you've gotten yourself knocked. I can't. This is your own fault, okay? I cannot help you. But so I probably would have done what Zute said, but definitely not for the right reasons, okay? It would have been because I was too afraid and too savage to go help my knocked teammate, and I was just going to stay in that fight until I most likely also got knocked.
Have more confidence in yourself, all right? Look, I believe in you. I think you could have gotten it done. Still, great intel there from Zute. Looking forward to these focus highlights over the next 2 weeks. Continue to break down these plays and give you the skills you need to compete in the Mobile Open yourself, which you should definitely do by learning more about it. !social right there down below. All the information you need to go follow us on social. Make sure you're staying up to date with all the things we're doing here. And of course, Glitter, they should do that as well.
Sign up. Sign up. Join us. Come join us, okay? We want to talk about your amazing gameplay week after week because
Seriously.
it's honestly, it just gets better every time.
I mean, do you guys want Zute to break down one of your plays?
Yes.
That's I think you kind of do. Any of our amazing content creators, you definitely want to have them breaking down all that action. So you should definitely tune in next week to continue to catch up with everything that we're doing here in the ESL Mobile Open. But that's it for us this week. That's all the action that we have, which means another week of action is about to unfold. For myself and Varum from Glitter, from the rest of the crew here, thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Feel the lights, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark. No fear, getting ready for the ride. Yeah, stepping into the light. No limit, aim high. No limit, the prize is mine.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Hey, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. All we know is ball to empty out the mouth. The chosen one they call, I take my fan with me. Know about it if you tell, know you're breaking codes. What your credibility and all fall like dominoes. Can you really take a stance? All I wanna know. Need me real ones when it's time to go. Stepping in, elevator. This is to all the haters. That's all we know when we level up. Yeah, that's all we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up. I found out I'm not alone, 'cause I'm just like you. There's no failing when we fight. We're not afraid to level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up. Feel the light, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark. No fear, getting ready for the ride. Yeah, stepping into the light. No limit, aim high. No limit, the prize is mine.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Ay, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. All we know is ball to empty out the mouth. The chosen one they call, I take my fan with me. Know about it if you tell, know you're breaking codes. What your credibility and all fall like dominoes. Can you really take a stance? All I wanna know. Need me real ones when it's time to go. Stepping in, elevator. This is to all the haters. That's all we know when we level up. Yeah, that's all we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up. I found out I'm not alone, 'cause I'm just like you. There's no failing when we fight. We're not afraid to level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up. Feel the light, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out.